So in this video, we're going to discuss how often and when should I actually upload videos on YouTube. And this is very important because in some situations, it can actually be very critical and determine how likable your channel is by the algorithm. So we're just gonna set like a base footprint, and I like nothing more than actually talking about my own channel. So here I have, and I actually use them to set an example. So Tareas Plus, which is the educational channel. So we have about 400,000 subscribers, and it generates about 750,000 views per month. So the strategy here, and this is very important because all the recommendations that we gave here, they are totally dependent on the type of channel. Because this is an educational channel, we tend to stick to one video per day. Now, the one reason we can actually do one video per day, it's also because the nature of the content allows it. It has a special characteristic which is called evergreen content, meaning that it's content that if posted today will actually be useful and will not decay in 2 or 3 years. Because if you're explaining something like quadratic equations, the same explanation that you give today is going to be valid in 2 or 3 years. So that being said, we create content and we upload it on a daily basis. Sometimes we even upload maybe 2 videos per day. So because it's an educational content, and also because creating a video here is relatively easy. You just do a screencast, and you probably have to edit or trim the video. It doesn't require much. You just create a very easy to use thumbnail, which what I actually will later on explain. You can follow. I'm going to create a video further on how to create the best thumbnails using Canva. Um, and that's the way you actually do it. So if it's very easy and it has some sort of evergreen topicality to it, then you can actually upload on a daily basis or sometimes even twice. Now, Do Remila, it's a little bit different. It's nursery rhymes. It's videos that take 2 to 3 minutes. And here we have almost like 650,000 subscribers, but it generates almost 6 million views per month. Now here, because of the nature of the content, we have to have an animator, we have to compose and design the songs. It's a little bit different. We are able to create new content almost every 10 days. So we end up uploading 3 to 4 videos per month. Now, this is good enough. And in fact, in the 5 years that since we started the channel, we have created about 140 songs. So 140 songs here, or videos, and here we have created almost 4,000 videos. So it's not the quantity that drives the traffic. It's all you could say is the quality or the type of content. So 140 songs create almost 6 million views on a monthly basis, and 4,000 videos create almost 750,000. Now, I'm not telling you that you should take that as a rule of thumb. It's just to give you some sort of guidance that quantity not necessarily means the amount of views you're going to get on a monthly basis. But this is just to give you kind of like a basic insight. Now, the other thing is, well, in the past slide, I was just setting the example. The one thing that I often tend to recommend, it's when do you want to publish? And so one thing you need to consider is, well, how often can you create content? But I wanted to show you the following. So this is from the educational channel, and this drop that you see here, and then that you see in the other days, here it's more pronounced. This drop always happens to be a Friday, and then you have Saturday, and then you have Sunday. And I mean, consistently for the past 5 years, we always have the same pattern. So in the educational channel, we don't care that much, but let's say you are only able to produce 2 videos, or let's say 2 videos or 1 video per day. My recommendation is that you publish the videos not on Mondays, but on Tuesdays. Because on Tuesdays, is always when you get the biggest audiences. And so if the content is new, think of the following. The algorithm will probably have a better chance of actually suggesting it. And because you have 50%, let's say, 50% or 30% more people watching, then you're going to get a benefit and probably you're going to get some tailwind. Now, that's for the case of one video. If you're able to do two, then I really like Tuesdays and Thursdays. So those are like the two best days of the week to publish content because that's where you're getting the most, where you're getting the peaks of the audiences. Now, the reason I also like Thursdays is because growing a channel, it's not about the peaks. It's actually about reducing how low can they actually go. So it helps keep the momentum. But the two best days to publish are Tuesdays and Thursdays. And you can actually corroborate that. Same thing. This is with the nursery rhyme channel. So think of like parents giving the iPad to their kids. They want to entertain them. So the same thing happens here. I mean, on on Friday, on Fridays, we on yeah, sorry. On Friday, on Friday here, we start to see that the channel starts to take a dive. Then on Saturday, Sunday, and it starts to go back on Monday. And then you have the days of the week, and it behaves pretty much the same. So the one before is an educational channel, and this one is a nursery rhyme channel. So take advantage of Tuesdays. Tuesdays, hopefully in the morning, in the AM, is the best day to publish if you're just creating one video a week. If you're creating more than two videos, if you're creating two videos a week, then go for Thursday because that's when you get like the most most tailwind from the audience and from people that are actually just on YouTube or just on the internet searching for things. Now, the one thing that I was mentioning now, the so you have like a special set of days to just like optimize or just be more noticeable on YouTube. And so the thing that I mentioned before, evergreen, is any type of content. And so evergreen content, you can do it on a daily basis just because of what I said before. If you're able to do content, and that daily basis content is anything that is like math, science, or just like a process or an explanation of something that would be constant in time. So those channels that have the ability to create those types of content and are able to create the units of content on a daily basis would have no problem just uploading it under that frequency. Those are what I catalog as evergreen. Then you have the current events, and current events can be news, politics, sports, and so obviously you have the capacity to just upload content on a daily basis. Well, you want to go in and just like, hey, what's the score of the latest game? So sports, news, even gossip or news gossip or whatever, politics, whatever is the case. And others, I mean, think of it like a travel channel, a makeup channel. You don't want to create you don't want to create too much content because what happens is you just saturate your audience. And so for example, I've cited this in the past. Joe Rogan produces excellent podcasts, but sometimes he just produces too much, and each one of them are 2 or 3 hours. So if he's uploading up 5 of those a week, you're just like saturated, and you find yourself trying to figure out how to space it out and put it on the watch later. And so just give people, just give your audience time. So I think 2 or 3, if you're on a beauty channel, on a how-to, or even a podcast, it's kind of like a good spacing out per week. I mean, it's a good way to space it out um, so that you actually give the audience or the people that are actually watching you some time to really digest and appreciate. And the other thing that you have to consider is like everybody is just telling you, hey, I want to get the notification or just sign up to it. But sometimes you just can get people very tired, and so you just want to give them rest and always want you to come back to them. So it's always better to leave them with the want than just saturating them. So that's why I like it to keep it spaced out 2 or 3 times a week and just not overdo it, because then it just gets to be too much. So yeah, those are kind of like the basic steps or appreciations that I have, depending on what type of channel it is, so that you can make a better decision of how often and when it's better to upload content to YouTube.